I recently started my very first playthrough of Dark Souls 3, and I kind of want to document how everything's been going bit by bit. So stick around, because I've got plenty to say. Maybe grab some food. My name's Ice, and before we begin, I want to cover some ground, and share a bit of my background, just, as a gamer. My first major console, and my most cherished one, even to this day, was the PlayStation 2. I'm 23 now, and the last time I touched a PS2 was maybe in 2009. I ended up moving on to Xbox 360 after that, and stuck to Xbox until the Series X, which I ended up selling, and now I'm committed fully to PC. No regrets. And I think that era defined what I find most fun in video games. The three most important PlayStation titles to me were Kingdom Hearts 2, Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, and Final Fantasy X. There was just something so charming and mystifying about these worlds that felt designed by people who invested, a certain level of excitement and commitment to building something that they themselves wanted to play. At least it felt like they would want to play it. It may just be nostalgia, I don't know, but games now don't get the same emotion out of me that they used to. But sometimes they do, the rare few. The designs of games, especially the hits back then, used to be so purposeful. You'd follow curated paths that developers themselves had run through hundreds of times before you. Most things worked. Not always, but everything fit. There was no unnecessary fluff. You got exactly what the game's cover looked like. God of War, a violent bloodbath, Shadow the Hedgehog, aggressive Sonic with guns and cuss words, Kingdom Hearts, a Disney journey connecting familiar characters with unlikely friends. I miss that. And here we've got Dark Souls 3. What does this cover tell you? A knight lit ablaze, holding crumbling dust with a backdrop featuring a ruined land. Desolate, empty, ominous. You know what this game's about just looking at it, and playing it is all the same. It feels like a portal that's connected to the golden age of gaming, when video games were something other than dollar signs. Although the game is not cheap, and Bandai Namco is not gonna put the f***ing game on sale ever again, will they? Forget that though. I love this game so far, and I know I say that a lot, I just happen to not play a lot of games that I don't like. But it's been terrific, truly. The world feels so unfamiliar, Like, I'm playing this game and remembering how strange those PS2 titles used to be. Like, do you remember fixed cameras? Back when the camera wasn't first person or centered on the player and we used to walk around JPEG backdrops? Then there were the other camera angles that would trigger in certain parts of the room that let you see around corners and there'd be a chest, an NPC, or some other secret. That's how this game feels to me. I love it. I love it when games hide shit from me. This isn't my world, it's theirs. And just like in real life, the most enchanting moments aren't plainly in sight. Sometimes we have to look around. It evokes such a bittersweet emotion out of me playing something like this because it makes me feel like the people making it actually cared. And sometimes that can just stand in stark contrast to some games that are made today. It wasn't about the price. Sure, it helps. Again, it's expensive. It was all about the dream. A horrifying, wicked, and difficult dream, but a dream nonetheless. One that is so clearly radiating this emotion that feels like the developers themselves held this creation sacred. Fuck the masses. The crowd of people that could play it if it were different in any particular way. This is fucking art. Yes, it's a toy. It's a fantastic toy. Not everyone played Yu-Gi-Oh! Either, but that didn't make it any less special to the people who did. The people who looked at the delicately drawn cards and built their decks around what they thought were the coolest looking. Or maybe the cutest. I don't know, your preference. But you get what I mean. I hate some of the modern shit that comes out today. Corporate crap made simply to sell because the ideal was easy enough. I don't buy that every game now is made with love. I don't. But this was made for the fans. And I'm not even an original Dark Souls fan, I'll admit. I'm off the Elden Ring bandwagon. But I can clearly feel every layer of intent. The music, the items, the world. Look at this fucking world. This series is so thoughtfully made, you feel the energy of it oozing from Soft. No one else could do this. Just like no one else but Square Enix could make Final Fantasy, no one else but Bungie could make Halo, no one else but Bethesda could make Elder Scrolls. This is Dark Souls 3. Now that that's out of the way, the journey starts in the Cemetery of Ash. Here you'll interact with the tutorial, and there's one thing in Elden Ring I really took for granted. The jump button. I miss it. You have to click down on an analog stick now instead of clicking A, It's awful, but it's okay. So I went around a bend and came across this lizard guy that was posted up as if I owed him money, but I first tried it by the skin of my teeth and spun for joy. I also want to say, I love how quickly the player model moves in these games. It's such a dumb thing, but spinning like a cracked out squirrel is so fun. I don't know why, I think it's my lizard brain telling me something, but I then moved on to the first boss of the game, Iudex Gundyr. And not gonna lie, I knew he'd be here, but I was still a little spooked. Something about fear and dread in this game. Anyways, I got to fighting and I really wanted to do one thing, and that was parry him. I failed. Yeah, quite a few times. And then he delivered the final death blow after transforming into this thing. But now, I knew. I saw the gaps in his attack. See, FromSoft seems to have this tendency where they teach you through failure. Honestly, I think the difficulty of these games is more from having this mindset that you're always supposed to win. In this game, no. No, you'll lose. But it's fine, because you'll learn. And the second time, I got the parry. I quickly beat him down to the second phase, and I'll give you some advice. At this stage, get on his butt and cut away. The bigger the enemy, the less mobile they are, and if they can't turn, generally they won't hit you. On my way up, I had to do a bit of exploring, of course, and I saw this fella here, so naturally I fought him, and he gave me a bit of trouble. But then he did me a favor, so, I don't know, good for me. I entered Firelink Shrine, and I gotta say, it's gorgeous, ominous, and it does such a good job of establishing the atmosphere of the game. The hollowed halls that bear a messy conglomerate of random NPCs, all serving some particular duty. But anyways, on to the next zone. The High Wall of Lothric. First, the view. Here I saw a dead dragon, this freaky guy, and another freaky guy, a fatty, and in total, this area served to teach me how to explore this game. The thing is, on Elden Ring, exploration is so much more freeform. You come and go as you please, and almost no area requires commitment, unless you're looking to progress the story. Here, no. You must press forward. You can level grind if you want, but I mean, I don't know how much that'd help you. It comes down to imprinting a single philosophy into your mind. Press on. Yeah, you'll get shit on. Regular monsters will kill you. And there will be setbacks, but I think taking these moments of failures as opportunities to learn instead of looking at it like you're losing is what makes this series of games so special. See, in Souls games, you don't restart from an old save. You're sent back to the previous checkpoint with everything you had when you died, and you now have the knowledge of either running away or sticking around and kicking some ass. Personally, I like kicking ass. So I found myself on the ground floor and was clued into a shortcut, which essentially solidified the map as one big circle. You see, there's no fast travel in this game, except from bonfires, but it's not needed. The zones are small, so everything that's anything is always walking distance anyways. That sounded crazy. Then I went back down and I was hunted by a pack of knights, of course, and I met an old lady that gave me the creeps. She's definitely something. I don't know what yet, but look at her. She's gotta be evil. But I ignored her. Turned around and headed down the big flight of stairs instead, and came upon this vagina wall that my player decided to touch, which triggered the arrival of Vordt. Okay, this music is epic. Honestly, I could have first tried him, but he was in the perfect position where I just couldn't get around that damn ice beam. He's not too wickedly challenging unless you give him space. A lot of people say don't be greedy or overly aggressive, but honestly, I think steady aggression in this game is rewarded. Get in close and attack when the moments arise, don't back down. But on the second try I came back, and again, like Iudex, the trick is, get on his butt, live on the butt, and Vordt will die by the butt. And after you win, you get treated to a reward. The view. Did I say this game was gorgeous yet? I found out I needed a banner, so I assumed the old lady gave me that. I went back, chatted, but still, I don't know. I think she's evil. I just don't trust old women that are seated in cathedrals. I mean, look at her. Look! I went back down and raised the banner, and bing bang boom, we're in the undead settlement now. Here, oh man, the game took off. What a level. It's so well designed where there are paths just folded over top of each other, and you think you've seen it all, then you realize you only scratched the surface. Hell, I'm pretty sure I ended up doing this level the wrong way, I think. I found the Greatwood fella first, and let me tell you, this boss fight sucked. It sucked. Instead of hiding in his butt, you have to clear off his pimples, but some of his pimples are in really weird places, so I ended up running around like a headless chicken for a good 4 minutes trying to see where it is, and my bad eyesight did not help this at all. It only took me one try, but it's about the battle, and it just wasn't there. Though when he stood up, that was pretty cool. Almost looked like an overgrown Hezbollah. Anyways, by far the most important part of this video, I headed over to this tower I completely ignored for certain reasons, and found him. C-word. I did his little quest and moved on, which involved returning to the same tower, going to the bottom, and walking out after defeating a smaller ice guy. He dropped his sword though, it's pretty cool. Icy, if I do say so myself. But here, the horror begins. I saw this little freak, and yeah. I ran away, and if you've seen the bonfire story, you know what happened here. Shortly after exploring the hole, I went back up because I wasn't done in the woods. I backtracked and went down this little path and found the most annoying boss so far. This one wasn't bad like the charcoal and Pachi guy, but it was a challenge. The Crystal Sage does some absolute fuck shit, and it defeated me a few times, twice in total, but the third time was the last battle. I guess if you're stuck here, my suggestion would be watch where the crystals spawn when it goes under. It seems like it'll come back up on the opposite side. I can't confirm that, but I tried that and managed to be right next to its spawn twice. But the second phase, you're shit out of luck. Hit the purple one, but have fun dodging. Anyways, guess what's next?
Poison Swamp.
This place was hell. I got spit on by basilisks, haunted by another fucking crab, and I had to light 3 beacons. I mean, at least it wasn't 6, like the Regal Ancestor Spirit. Plus the zone was pretty fun for how stressful it was. I told you this game was horrifying, wicked, and difficult. I don't lie. But before I went through those gates, I found this big-ass tower with a big-ass wolf and went to the top. I found this ugly bastard, and it pleasantly reminded me of the Erdtree avatars from Elden Ring. So guess how you beat it? Get on its butt. The demon gave me 20,000 souls, which was nice. I leveled up some more and finally went through those gates. And before I move on, I have to ask, I'm not the only person who gets jumped and chased 9 out of 10 times, right? Am I stupid? Anyways, as I entered the boss arena, 2 enemies were humping me, and then the fight began. The Abyss Watchers. This was one of the coolest boss fights I've ever experienced. I honestly wish the helper guy didn't help or just wasn't there, but I mean, whatever, it's appreciated. But I could have kicked some ass 2-on-1. So I get around to beating this fella down, and I'm treated to this. One-on-one, this foe stood no chance. Though blasting me with blood, iron, and fire, I was just too good. Elden Ring prepared me for this. Pulling off backstabs and rolling away from his dashes, I cut and cleaved him down in one go. First try. I have to say though, I'd be down to fight this guy 10 more times. The journey for now ended with this coward staring at me. Punk. And now, if you don't mind, I'll be helping myself to some more Dark Souls 3, and maybe also finishing out the rest of Witcher after receiving these comments. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. But I'll trust you guys this once. Maybe I'll end up doing a whole video discussing the DLCs if they really end up being as great as you all said. My hopes are up. I hope I don't get let down. Thanks for watching. As always, I appreciate it, and I hope you stick around for more. So please, consider subscribing, like the video, and leave a comment. Tell me what era of games you started with, maybe what games made you fall in love with the hobby, or if you have something to say about Dark Souls 3, that's fine too. And before I let you go, I want to thank everyone who's been watching, subscribing, liking, commenting, all that. I'm a little late with it, but we hit 100 subs at the start of the week. I love talking to all my regulars, you know who you guys are, and it really means a lot, especially seeing how consistent the support and growth's been. I know it's a small number in the grand scheme of things, but it means a lot to me, and at the end of the day, that's what matters most. I hope you guys have fun listening to me rant and listening to me gush. I know I do it quite a bit. I have a lot of fun writing all this shit out. The talking part, not so much. I'm a bit of an introvert, honestly, but it's more fun having it presented this way. Editing can be a real challenge too, but I'm learning every day. It's a weird feeling though. You know, it's a weird feeling seeing stuff that I put out get more than 10 views or like 10 likes, and then I see the watch time and it's like over 24 hours, and it's just like, What? What? I don't know how to word it yet. Maybe I'll figure it out as I get used to it, but I just can't believe people actually sit down and listen to my voice for any amount of time. Again, thank you. I hope you're doing well, having a good day, and most importantly, having fun. See you till next time. Bye-bye.